Hello there, and thanks for watching this week's Weatherquest farming forecast, the first of meteorological summer. Well, the past month, the month of May, has been one of the wettest on record across the UK. It was the fourth wettest May on record, and overall it's been relatively chilly as well. For much of the time we've been on the northern side of the jet stream, we've seen some quite subdued temperatures, but the last week or so things have changed. We've seen temperatures rise. Yesterday was the warmest day of the year so far. It got to 25.1 degrees in the Highlands, and it looks like going forward it is going to stay on the warmer side of things the rest of this week, the weekend, and into the early part of next week as well, staying generally into the mid-20s in places. So staying on the warmer side of things, I think, going forward in the short term at least. Just looking at how the jet stream's acting at the minute, we're under this ridge of high pressure over the past couple of days. You can see this area of jet stream here has been pushing a front into Western Ireland, not really shifting too much, but much further east it's been a bit quieter. You can see this area of low pressure beginning to push a little bit more activity northwards through Wednesday and into the end of the week before that begins to slowly clear away, and we're back to something slightly quieter by the end of the week with this area of low pressure out to the west of us and the UK under a slight ridge of high pressure. Now that's not to say there's not going to be a few heavy showers around in places, but generally high pressure is going to be near or over us for much of the time. So looking at that in a little bit more detail, this was Tuesday. Like I said, we had this front over Western Ireland, bringing some patchy outbreaks of rain. Further east, Tuesday was another fine day with plenty of long sunny spells for many places, temperatures again reaching into the mid-20s. But overnight and into Wednesday, we see this area of low pressure push northwards, pushing some heavy, perhaps thundery showers into southwest England into Wednesday morning. That front then begins to push further northeastward. So actually by the end of the day, across the Midlands, maybe into parts of East Anglia and southeast England, we could see a few heavy and perhaps thundery showers developing in places. So while much of the day on Wednesday across Scotland, northeast England and eastern England is going to be again dry, sunny, temperatures in the mid-20s, by the end of the day this sort of more active area of weather might begin to push further eastward. So there is the risk of some heavy showers by the end of the day across eastern Britain, but earlier on in the day much of the activity is going to be further southwest, where there could be some quite active thunderstorms in places, so it is worth keeping an eye out if you're around there. Now into Thursday, we've still got this area of low pressure centred just to the west of Ireland. We have this weak front moving northeastwards, which was bringing those showers during Wednesday evening. There may still be a few odd showers overnight Wednesday into Thursday, but generally that will clear northwards. Much of the day on Thursday across eastern Britain will be dry with sunny spells, some thicker cloud around in places, but you can see again setting off a few afternoon showers in the east, some of which could be heavy and perhaps thundery, so it is worth keeping an eye out. By the time it gets through to the afternoon, they will bubble up and begin to develop in places. You can see further west, this low pressure stays out to the west and continues to bring showers or rain to Western Ireland as well. Then central areas are a little bit quieter by the end of Thursday. Now moving into Friday, there's quite a lot of uncertainty really regarding this area of low pressure and associated rain as it pushes northwards. Now you can see in this run of the model, a lot of that is further east. It's pretty quiet across the UK itself, but other models are doing something slightly different with this area of rain. So this you can see is a different model's idea of what's going to happen Thursday night into Friday, this being midnight on Thursday night. And you can see this area of showery, heavy, perhaps thundery rain spreading out of France across the Channel into the Midlands and then pushing northeastwards over the course of Friday before clearing out into the North Sea. So there is potential for some quite heavy rain during Thursday night and into Friday morning across the Midlands, East Anglia, Southeast England, even up into northeastern parts of England as well. So that's one to really keep an eye on, I think, in the forecast over the next couple of days. Like I say, still quite a bit of uncertainty on the exact track of that, but this seems to be the slightly more likely scenario, that there will be some rain around and potentially some thundery and heavy rain as well. But you can see by the end of Friday, that's off into the North Sea. Many places are dry with sunny spells by this point, but there is still rain in Western Ireland. You can see through a lot of the sequence, we do keep seeing outbreaks of rain in Western Ireland. So that was Friday. As we move back into the weekend, we've got this area of low pressure down to the south. Generally, Saturday is relatively quiet, a few showers here and there. The one thing to keep an eye on is that this low pressure does begin to move northwards, which may bring some showery rain to southern areas on Saturday night and overnight into Sunday, but generally I think that will mostly stay to the south, and the weekend see high pressure building in across the UK should lead to largely dry conditions. A few showers here and there to watch out for, but still temperatures in the low to mid 20s, becoming more across eastern areas. The warmer temperatures will be focused by that point. So looking a little bit further out into the following week, this area of high pressure looks like it's going to stick around across northwestern Europe, being fairly dominant across the UK into Scandinavia, also down into the Iberian Peninsula. So we're going to see warmer than normal temperatures across Western Europe, cooler further east. We do see below average temperatures generally around these parts, but staying milder in the west. With that high pressure as well becomes below average rainfall for many western and some central parts of Europe as well. A few showers here and there, a few periods of rain, but generally below average in terms of rainfall. Wetter than average across the Mediterranean and Eastern Europe, with areas of low pressure bringing some rain or showers there. So the further northwest you are, the more settled it will generally be through next week. In terms of temperatures for the next few weeks or so, after being what was quite a prolonged cool period through the months of April and May, it does look like temperatures are going to rise and stay generally above average through the next couple of weeks or so. So this here is the chance of seeing temperatures above average, the darker red colours showing a high chance, the lighter red colours showing a lower chance. So you can see a lot of this is the medium chance of seeing temperatures above average through that period, and generally think we are going to stay in this warmer air through next week, possibly into the early part of the following week, even in the south, perhaps beyond that. But you can see it does become a little bit less certain, I think, further north. This here showing that there could be some cooler weather around. But generally, in the short term, I think much of the time, temperatures are going to turn to being slightly above average for most places. So, especially with all the uncertainty around this week with these various areas of rain, the best way to stay on top of the forecast is speaking directly to one of our forecasters. They're available every day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the number shown on screen, with calls charged at £1.55 a minute plus any network access charges. And they'll be able to talk you through any uncertainty in the forecast, particularly what different models are doing, how likely your area is of seeing rain. So they're the best way to stay on top of the forecast, especially in periods where there's a lot of uncertainty as there is now. So looking ahead into the following week, this is the week beginning the 14th of June, a similar kind of situation to the previous week in the sense that we've got high pressure across northwestern Europe. It's going to generally be below average rainfall for these areas, as well as above average temperatures. So generally warmer, generally drier across the north and west of Europe. You can see low pressure out to the east and lurking across the Mediterranean and into parts of Iberia as well will generally bring above average rainfall, and it will continue to feel cooler in these areas as well. So a similar setup to next week, the week beginning the 14th, with high pressure dominating out to the northwest. After that though, things do look like they turn a bit more unsettled. You can see here much more of these blue colours around across northern Europe particularly, but even down into parts of central and perhaps southern Europe, and that's generally indicating below average pressure. So that's suggesting that low pressure is going to have more of an influence. We're going to see periods of rain push into northern Europe, perhaps drier still in the south with high pressure just ridging into some parts of the Mediterranean, so drier than normal here, but certainly wetter and more unsettled further north. So to summarise, the risk of some heavy and thundery showers in places for the rest of this week, but there will be plenty of warm, dry and sunny weather around. It is just worth watching out for these heavy and perhaps thundery downpours. Through next week and perhaps into the following week as well, the UK generally warmer and drier than normal with high pressure ridging in and across much of northwest Europe as well, but there are hints of something slightly more unsettled as we move into the end of June. So thanks for watching this week's video. As ever, you can keep up to date with the day-to-day forecast for East Anglia and the British Isles on our social media, and if you've got any comments or questions, you can leave them below. Thanks for watching.